So after the Cincinnati Bengals went ahead and signed Sidney Jones today, BengalsWire.com went ahead and compiled everyone's reaction to it on Twitter. Now, obviously, it's not NFL players. These are NFL fans who are part of the Who Dey Nation. So starting off right away, a guy who does tweet about a lot of Cincinnati Bengals stuff. Joe Goodberry said yes in all capital letters. Next, John Sharon said Eli Apple has some legitimately great games for the Bengals, and that would probably be remembered by the team's fans. However, you can get yourself to play confident is your business, but the way Apple did it, I hope he finds another opportunity. Obviously, meaning, yes, with the signing of Sidney Jones, even though it's a one-year contract, even though it's the league minimum, it's nothing too crazy special, he is going to be the direct replacement for Eli Apple and obviously Trey Flowers. Now, again, could they still target somebody in the draft? Absolutely. Could they still target a cornerback in the first round? Absolutely. This means really nothing toward their future plans. This is the depth piece, though, that takes the spot of Eli Apple and Trey Flowers if they cannot work out a contract with either of them. If they work out a contract with either of them, then obviously they will go just as normal to those said players will come back. Sidney Jones will probably still be on the roster, or he might be moved to the practice squad and be cut from the team if they are able to get a contract worked out with Eli Apple or Trey Flowers. At this moment in time, though, because neither of them have worked out a contract with Cincinnati, it is what it is, right? Cincinnati is kind of moving on, saying, listen, we have, Sidney Jones now as our fourth cornerback, and we're also going to be looking in the draft, either in the second, third, fourth, maybe first round, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh round, for cornerback to compete with Sidney Jones in the preseason and figure stuff out that way. Now, going down here, somebody says Sidney Jones has some great pass breakups on film from early years of his career. He had start and stops with injuries, but there's a lot to like about Jones as a depth for cornerback for the Bengals. And he does have this video right here, which I'm going to try my best to... Bam! Nice block. Okay, sorry. Let's just do this slow. I don't want NFL to take down my video. And that is him breaking up a pass for the Philadelphia Eagles. Amazing play right there. Sidney Jones taking the Eli Apple spot as the first man off the bench. I like the signing for them. Which, again, like I said, I think it's a really good signing. I think it's a really good depth piece here where, it gives you so many opportunities for so many ways to kind of move forward where you have someone on the roster while you're not really worried about, you're not worried about forcing a Eli Apple sign, right? You're not forcing an Eli Apple contract. You're not forcing a contract with Trey Flowers. You kind of have, options now to go wherever you want. Now it's confirmed the Bengals add much-needed cornerback depth as Sidney Jones joins the defensive backfield in Cincinnati. Someone said Apple is greater than Sidney Jones. I don't agree with that, but okay. Bengals fans, let's welcome Sidney Jones to Who Dey Nation. Love this signing. I think it's a really good signing in my opinion. Love this cornerback depth signing for Bengals. We have been flirting with Sidney Jones in stripes throughout his career. This gives us flexibility in the draft, as I just said. Can still bring back Eli if he has nowhere else to go. Eli and Trey Flowers. If, again, like I said, you work out a contract with them, you just go ahead and cut Sidney Jones or move him to the practice squad. Now, somebody said, means Eli Apple is going, which is dumb. I'd rather have him than Sidney Jones. I don't agree with that. I really don't. I think Sidney Jones gives you more upside than Eli Apple. I think you know what you have in Eli Apple. You don't know what you have in Sidney Jones. And again, Sidney Jones, with the contract he has versus what Eli Apple would have, I love Sidney Jones a crap ton better. If Eli Apple said, hey, listen, I'm going to join the Bengals for a 1-year league minimum, I'd say, hey, listen, I'm fine with that, right? Trey Flowers wants to do that. Go ahead. More power to you. But if you're going to tell me Trey Flowers, who's going to want around 1 year, $11 million, couple years, $11 million a year, and Eli Apple, who's going to want $7 to $8 million a year for a couple years, give me Sidney Jones in that spot and let me draft a guy in the draft and really build around that. I'm not going to be too upset if, you get someone in the draft and you only pay this guy as a depth piece pretty much nothing. Sidney Jones doesn't prevent them from going quarterback round 1. Not at all. He doesn't move the needle that much, but he does provide depth to make the cornerback in the first less urgent. Signs continues to point toward defensive lineman or tight end. Yeah, again, like I said before, this gives you a rotational piece that now you don't have to worry about overworking your starting cornerbacks on this roster. I say defensive lineman. I say also offensive lineman. I think offensive lineman is still a very big possibility. Tight end is a very big possibility. And defensive lineman / edge rusher is a very big possibility too. There's just not too many defensive linemen that's, I say edge rushers in the spot Cincinnati's in right now, which I would say they would reach for. Nolan Smith is really the big guy. Cansey is still available. I highly doubt he will be. He's another player Cincinnati could go for, but at that position, 28, I couldn't see too many defensive players that they would be, other than cornerbacks, they'd be really too excited to get. Eli Apple is greater than Sidney Jones. For the city of Cincinnati, disappointing move today. Again, like I said, I think Eli Apple overall as a player is better than Sidney Jones. But I think that for the price tag, money to price tag to production, you're getting better with Sidney Jones. I like Sidney Jones signing. That's me in depth and doesn't force Cheeto to rush back, but doesn't take cornerback out of the equation. It fell to 28. Exactly. I agree with that right there. We saw Apple struggle before he got in a loose scheme. Now let's hope Sidney Jones similar to that. Doubt they will re-sign Apple now. I disagree with that. I don't think there's any doubt that now that this means, oh my God, Eli Apple is going. This just means that if they can't work out a contract, they're not going to force it. They're not going to feel like they have to get a cornerback in the draft or have to get a cornerback, with Apple or Flowers. This is just a depth piece, obviously, but this is, let's say, they go in the draft in the first round, they go with Michael Mayer, right? Second round, they go with someone like Matthew Bergeron, right? Third round, okay, Tank's on the board. They take Tank. Or they take any other running back. Obviously, I'm the same Tank. Fourth round, again, I don't think they would reach for him. I'm saying, let's say go Moro Jabo in the fourth round, right? Defensive lineman from Texas. Then fifth round, they go with somebody like Josh Wiley out of Cincinnati. Sixth round, they go with Quindell Johnson. Seventh round, they go with, Muhammad, right? They don't get a cornerback in this draft. Well, let's say hypothetically speaking, right? They don't get a cornerback in this draft. They like some other guys. The cornerback they like don't fall to them, or they're not going to reach for a certain player. Well, now they have a guy on the roster who can be that guy if they need to, that they don't have to worry about going out there and signing somebody else, right? They have a guy they feel confident that can get the job done and do what they need as well as, to the best of his ability they can. Lou doesn't have to worry, as he said right here, as, rushing back Cheeto or forcing Cheeto to, play more than he needs to, especially coming off injury. It's a really win-win for everybody. It gives you more rotational pieces, more players, off the bench, not having to overwork somebody, not having caused more injuries. So it's overall a very good system for everybody. With that being said, guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.